Hello everyone. Today we are going to start our next topic in entrepreneurship, that is business arithmetic. Arithmetic, something related to maths, where you have to do lot many calculations, divisions, subtractions, additions, multiplications, and then you derive a number, a figure that will help you to know about the facts. Similarly, in business also, certain numbers, certain figures are to be generated to have a comparative studies for better future or making the decisions in a very respective and precise manner. Business arithmetic is done at not only the ground root level, but it is done for policy making and for decision making. We are going to learn many aspects like unit of sale, unit of cost, break-even analysis, economic ordering quantity, return on investment, and budgeting in this chapter. But we'll start with unit of sales. Unit sales, that means it is a figure that will give a proper amount of revenue generated in anticipation to the demand. A measure of the total amount of revenue a product generates divided by the total number of units that a product that was sold in a given time period. Companies use unit sales to determine how profitable and certain product is, and if necessary to make improvements, expand or cancel that product. Analysts may also use it as a way of determining changes in demand. Once an entrepreneur is through with the unit of sales, it is very easy for an entrepreneur to anticipate the future production and anticipate the demand for that. Break even analysis. The next important calculation is break even analysis. Here you can see the point where there is no profit or no loss. The graph of total revenue and the graph of total cost where intersect is the point of sales, that is called break even analysis. The break even point is a point which covers all the expenses no matter the break even analysis is analysis done to know the total of the units which are sold, which will cover all the expenses, all the revenues which will be generated to a level of investments, say in the form of fixed costs, in the form of variable cost. To do the break even analysis, we have to generate a break even point, and to calculate a break even point there is a formula in which various components are needed. Following are the components of break even point analysis. First is fixed costs. As the name suggests, certain costs are fixed in nature no matter there is production or not. It do not changes as per the change in the number of units produced. The sum of all costs required to produce the first unit of a product. This amount does not vary as production increases or decreases until new capital expenditure are needed. Variable unit cost. The next important component of break even analysis is variable unit cost. Costs that vary directly with the proportion of one additional unit. For example, raw material. When more number of units are produced, more raw material is consumed and thereby adds on the variable unit cost. Similarly, the rent. If we talk about rent, next are the uses of break even analysis. Why the break even analysis is to be made? It is helpful in deciding the minimum quantity of sales. It determines the price, the tender price that is to be laid down by a supplier. It examines the effects on the organization's profitability, that how long it will take for an enterprise to gain a profit making stage. It will decide the decision regarding sales price and quantity of sales, deciding about the substitution of new plants. It also helps in determining the marginal cost. Break even analysis is also having certain limitations, like it depends on the averages or it depends on the assumptions. Sometimes the fixed costs which are assumed, they are not as the same which are taken into consideration. There are changes according to external and internal environment of the business, and it is for the supply side and not for the demand side. It also changes when the value of inventory changes. So on mere assumptions it cannot be made. The formula for break even analysis in units is fixed cost upon contribution per unit, where contribution is fixed cost plus profit, or selling price minus variable cost. These are the two formulas for contribution per unit. So selling price minus variable cost also can be taken as contribution per unit, and fixed cost plus profit can also be taken into consideration for finding the contribution per unit. Once we have found the break even in units, it can be found in the value. So again it will be selling price per unit into break even units. That means it will show that after making how many sales or what amount of sales your business is reaching to break even point. That means it has covered all the possible expenses or all the possible investment that you have made. This was for break even analysis. Next important topic is the cash flow projection. Now projection means to anticipate about the future. Cash flow forecast is needed to show the firm can and will be able to borrow how much, when, and how will it repay the loan. It is called the cash flow budget or the cash flow projection. Preparing cash flow for a period of time is important, because if a business runs out of cash and not able to raise the additional cash, it will become insolvent. To know the future of the business, it is very important to prepare a cash flow projections. Now, so cash flow is important for preparing the estimation of future cash needs. It is also required to determine the inflows and cash flows and how there will be the liquidity that can be maintained in future. What is the importance of cash flow that we are going to see further? It is a part of budgetary process. It allows you to plan for the known anticipated expenditure and the unknown anticipated expenditure. That means you all know that the future is uncertain. The cash needed for small business or big business depends on the scenario that is going on. Cash flow is a dynamic and unpredictable part of for a startup or small business. Cash flow problems are the main reasons why new business fail. If there is no proper calculation for flowing of cash, then it may lead to the failure of any venture. Regular and reliable cash flow forecasting can address many of the problems. Like if you have kept aside certain amount for emergency requirements, there won't be any problem. And the flow of money, if it is regular on the basis, in the regular basis and reliable in the nature, it will help a less amount of business problems. Cash inflows and outflows are cash sales. Under the inflows heads, you can see cash sales, receipts from traders, sale of fixed assets, interest on bank balances, grants, loan from banks, share capital investments. And of course, payments are payments to suppliers, wages, salaries, payments for fixed assets, tax on profits, interest on loans and overdrafts, dividend paid to shareholders, and repayments of loans. So these are the cash outflows. So these inflows and outflows are to be anticipated. Why we are supposed to prepare a cash flow projection? This is advance warning for cash shortages. It will come, you the entrepreneur will come to know that when the future need will be arising. It is helpful for financial control, and it will reassure the investor that the money that they are investing is not wasted. Also, it will spot the future problems that are to be made for payments. Inflow forecasting are movement of cash into bank, receipts from customers, investment by entrepreneurs, and loan from the banks. Outflow, that is out of the business, they are payment to suppliers, employees, lenders, and shareholders. Importance of cash flow, that means it is a good information and it gives the better decision making. And what are the cash flow problems? That when business does not have enough cash to be able to pay to its liability, then there is a cash flow. Then there is a cash flow problem. To overcome that problem, the next important method is budgeting. It is a detailed plan of operation for some specific future period. It is related to the evaluation of performance as far as the money is concerned. It is planning the future expenses in anticipation of the income. Budgeting mainly includes three components. They are financial planning, financial control, and financial management. Planning will give the success to the objectives, that once the planning is done, all the future objectives are achieved very nicely. Financial control is a control of financial resources as the flow in the organization are held by the organ. For example, the expenses, they are to be controlled as and when required. Companies must have the manager of finance who can not only work on the cost cutting but also do the work on addition of earning profits. Also look into the idle funds which should be invested and the return on investments can be achieved. The functions of budget or the types of budget are sales budget, production budget, cost of production budget, research and development budget, cash budget, and master budget. Master budget is also termed as a project budget, that means the entire budgeting for the business enterprise. Sales, production, cost of production have a specification to that area. For example, the sales budget, they will have the anticipation of demand, and on that what is the amount that is allocated for budgeting. Production budget, that means the budget for purchasing of raw materials, hiring the laborers, experts, input of the technology and machinery that is required. Cost of production budget, that includes all the budgeting related to the direct expenses. Research and development budget is a budget that will look upon the expenses to be made on making the products or services that are better, to make them better. And of course, cash budget is related to the finances, that from where to procure the finance and how to repay the loans. Master budget is a budget that is the sum total of the entire project budget, that will give the proper idea about the finances, inflows and outflows. So these are the types of budget or the main functioning of the budget. The budgets are further specified on the basis of traditional budget and zero based budget. Zero based budget, that means every business or every aspect are to be taken into consideration in a very fresh and new manner. It is decision oriented. Traditional budget is that depends on the past, what happened in the past, and on the basis of that past the future decisions are to be made. Its approach is towards the achievement of expenses. Its approach is monitoring towards the expenses. That means more or less the traditional budget is based on the controlling, and the zero based budget is based on the achievement of objectives. It focuses in the increase or decrease of expenditure over the past. It focuses on the benefit of analysis. In traditional budgeting, communication is very vertical, that means from top to bottom, while in zero based budget the communication is both horizontal and vertical, that means the suggestions are always welcome. Next important thing is working capital. Now working capital is the amount of capital that is invested. Capital is also known as a circulating capital. It is a total liquid capital invested in the business. It is that part of firm's capital that will include short-term finances and current assets such as cash in hand, cash at bank, marketable securities, debtors and inventories. So working capital is the liquid capital or revolving capital of a firm. Net working capital, that includes only firm's current assets and the liabilities that are financial obligations for a short term, that is also deducted. The net working capital is defined as total current assets minus total current liabilities. Cash conversion cycle, a short-term financial management. In any business unit, the cash is required to purchase raw materials. Now the cycle goes in such a manner that from cash it is converted into raw materials. From raw materials it is further converted into semi-finished goods. That means the processes are done on it. From semi-finished goods it is converted into finished goods. From finished goods it is converted into sales. From sales it may be generate direct cash if it is a cash sales, but if it is a credit sales it will convert it into debtor, and that debtor finally will be again converted into cash, and this cash conversion cycle keeps on and on. Now depending on the type of firm, the time of this conversion cycle can differ. So while making the decision or for forecasting cash flow, the firm's conversion cycle is to be calculated for a better financial management. Inventory. The term inventory includes the materials that are raw materials, work in progress, spare parts, finishing packaging goods and semi-finished goods that is to be kept in the business for future distribution purpose. Inventory cost, ordering cost, carrying cost, capital cost, storage space cost, inventory service cost and inventory risk cost. Ordering cost is the cost of inventory given to the intermediary for placing an order. Carrying cost is transportation cost. Capital cost is the amount of money that is involved in the inventory. Store space cost, that is the amount of space that inventory occupies. Service cost, that is for maintenance, and risk cost, that is for insurance. EOQ, that is economic ordering quantity, that is a tool that is related directly to the inventory. The economic ordering quantity is one of the technique to control the inventory, which will minimize the holding and the ordering cost. It will give the problem's solution, that how to manage the materials and to make sure the firm about at what level of point the other order is to be placed. The mathematical formula for EOQ is under root of 2AP upon S, where A denotes the demand, S denotes the carrying or the holding cost, P denotes the ordering cost. Next important thing is ABC analysis. Now, as per the value, as per the importance, and as per the consumption, on these three backgrounds, the inventory is graded as per ABC. But the other word for ABC analysis is always better control. If any entrepreneur wants to control the inventory, the firm can divide its inventory into three grades or three categories. For example, the A category will include 70% of the annual consumption. It is covered only by 10% of the items in the inventory, and it is at the highest attention. For example, for production, what is the main raw material? That is the A graded item. B graded item is the 20% of items covering. That means for production only 20% of such items are required. They are comparatively less in the importance, and again the investment is also at a lower level. For example, certain things or certain spare parts which are required for the production, like covers, or if we talk about manufacturing of cars, so tires, it can be 20% of the entire product. C item or the C graded item is the rest 70% of the inventory, but it should have very little control. That means packaging and plastic covers or cartons that is used for handling, that is the C graded items, as the consumption is very less. The formula for economic ordering quantity is EOQ 2AO upon P. Next important thing that we are going to learn about is return on investment. Any entrepreneur will demand a good return. Any entrepreneur will aspire or has an objective of earning good return over investment. If it is a sole trader or a partnership firm, ROI is calculated to know the actual performance of a business. That means at what percentage the return is received on investment. So ROI, the formulas goes like this: net profit upon investment upon 100. Net profit is the amount of profit that is generated after deduction of interest on loan, taxes, depreciation and amortization, and it is divided by the total investment made. That is earnings. Now the net profit is earnings after the interest, tax, depreciation and amortization, but the earnings before interest, tax, depreciation and amortization is the difference of cost and sales. Cost of goods sold, when is deducted from the selling price, the earning before interest, tax, depreciation and amortization is derived. Now what are these components? Interest rates are the investing loans, not only the loans from financial institution, but the people who are interested in firm's business, they are going to invest, and in anticipation to the returns, to them the interest rates are to be paid on a regular basis, and also rates are to be revised as per the prevailing market situation. Taxes are the amounts that entrepreneur is bound to pay to the government, and the tax is on goods, services, input GST and output GST that is calculated, and the adjusted amount is paid to the tax department at the end of every assessment year. Amortization and depreciation. Amortization is the reduction in the value of assets but intangible in nature, and depreciation is also the reduction in the value of assets but that is intangible nature. So depreciation is on the fixed assets which are tangible, that means which we can see, feel, touch, and amortization is on the assets which cannot be seen, felt or touched but has a market value or has a value of money. For example, goodwill or any license, that is that is intangible asset, and the reduction in the value of goodwill or license if it is expired, that is amortization. Depreciation is the wear and tear of fixed assets, and that is also to be calculated and deducted from the net profit earned.